Hey Magic fans, it's Paul of Let's Talk Magic, formerly the Orlando Magic UK, here with the Let's Talk Magic podcast game preview. Tonight, the Magic go against the LA Clippers on the second night of a back-to-back in the Crypto.com arena. For the Clippers, it's the first night of a back-to-back. UK tip time is 2:30 a.m. and that's 10:30 p.m. for our friends in Orlando and 7:30 p.m. in California local time. So to watch here in the UK, you will need an active NBA League Pass subscription. Let's talk about the Orlando Magic season record 2-1, standing tied second in the East. Points per game 107, which is 21st in the league, and against we are conceding only 96.3 points per game, which is a top rated number in the NBA. Offensive wise, we are slap bang in the middle, 15th, and defensive rating, the Magic are the top defensive rating in the NBA. At this point of the season, Orlando are in the upper reaches still for most things defensively, but after last night's game, unfortunately, they've had a dip on the offensive end. Scoring is being led by Franz Wagner, 19.3 points per game, followed by Cole Anthony at 16.7, and there are four other Magic players averaging 10 points per game. So let's take a quick look at the last game, where we unfortunately fell to a 103-106 defeat to the Lakers last night. As expected, it was a hard-fought game. There was lots in the Magic performance to like, outside of what was honestly a poor shooting game. The defensive effort was there. Orlando fought throughout. They controlled the momentum for long stretches of that game. But ultimately, we were unable to make those clutch shots and get a couple of stops down the end of the game as well. Start quickly by talking about the officiating. It seems that neither set of fans were overly happy. For me, I think it was better than last season, where individually, Austin Reeves shot more free throws than the Magic team did in its entirety. There were a couple of decisions from a Magic perspective that you think, really? There were a couple of block calls made that, for me, were offensive charges. Anthony Davis got a set of free throws for basically what looked like tripping himself up. And let's not forget the WWE wrestling move that Anthony Davis put on Franz Wagner, headlock, that was called a jump ball. That just seemed ridiculous. However, the officiating seemed more even this season in some respects. At least the free throws had a parity, which was an improvement on last season. But it has to be said, officiating was not the reason that the Magic lost this game. Had Orlando hit more than the 40% from the field that they did, victory could have been taken in this game. It wasn't helped by the Lakers having what was an impressive 10 blocks. That's some going at the rim. There is some criticism amongst Magic fans of Coach Mosley and some of the decisions that he made down the stretch. I kind of guess that the biggest question is why Gary Harris wasn't on the court, considering that he had the hot hand. He scored a team-high 17 points on 6 of 6 shooting from the floor. Franz Wagner had 16 points in what was, in some ways, not one of his best offensive games by any stretch of the imagination. Jalen Suggs finished with 15 points to go along with 8 rebounds and an all-energy performance. It showed how dialed in and what it meant to him by his reaction at missing the final shot at the buzzer. Starting unit, as expected, Markelle Fultz, Jalen Suggs, Paolo Banchero, Wendell Carter Jr. and Franz Wagner. Second night of a back-to-back, perhaps we see some changes to that unit, ultimately not playing perhaps as many minutes. However, I would suggest that as we have a young team and it's the start of the season, they do have the ability to have high energy levels and play a lot of minutes and recover quickly. So I'm not convinced that we're going to see too much of a change. The core bench unit last night was maintained: Cole Anthony, Gary Harris, Jonathan Isaac, Joe Ingles and Mo Wagner. We also saw Goga Bitadze make a very short cameo. The team focus for tonight will most certainly be again on building from the defence. Injury wise, same as before. Kevon Harris is again listed as being out, and neither Admiral Schofield nor Trevelyan Queen have suited up so far this season. Taking a look at the Clippers, last season their record was 44-38, which was pretty much achieved without either Kawhi Leonard or Paul George. Saw them end up 5th in the West, going out 1-4 in the first round of the Western Conference playoffs to the Phoenix Suns. Over the summer, Mason Plumlee signed an extension. Russell Westbrook re-signed with the team in what was one of the biggest it is the biggest pay cut taken by any player in NBA history. He went from a max contract to a vet minimum. Last night, it was announced that James Harden overnight is coming to the Clippers, along with PJ Tucker and forgive the pronunciation, but I'm going with Philippe Petrusev. Exiting the team are Nicholas Batum, Marcus Morris, Robert Covington and Kenyon Martin Jr., along with a number of picks. Harden, Tucker won't be available tonight, nor will the guys that they are trading. Season stats for the Clippers: they are at a 2-1 record, standing 5th in the West. Points per game, they are knocking in a massive 121.3, which is 5th in the NBA, and against they are only conceding 104.5, which is 5th best in the NBA. Offensive rating, 2nd, defensive 5th. Offensively, this team has shot the ball really well, making 41% from 3, which is the best in the NBA record so far this season. And in total, their field goal percentage is 2nd in the league at 52%. They do turn the ball over. However, defensively, they are a forceful opponent. They force turnovers and they lead the league in steals. They can be very, very effective also at blocking shots. Last game, they took a 40-point home court destruction of the San Antonio Spurs, 83-123. Kawhi Leonard scored a team-high 19 points, followed closely by... He led the team. Russell Westbrook and Paul George followed closely. Bones Highland came from the bench to knock in 18, and in total 7 players scored in double digits for them. Starting unit was Russell Westbrook, Paul George, Kawhi Leonard, Robert Covington and Ivica Zubac. Now tonight that has to change. That unit has to change. We'll start with their injury report. Terrence Mann and Brandon Boston Jr. are both listed as out. Norman Powell and Zubac are both listed as questionable. Starting 5, as I say, will have to change, having Covington been traded. So Russell Westbrook, Paul George and Kawhi Leonard could be joined by Bones Highland. If Zubac doesn't make it, then expect to see Mason Plumlee come in from the bench to start at centre. They took a guy called Kobe Brown in the draft at 30, and it's entirely likely that we could see him get some significant playing time tonight. Head to head, they have we've played them 67 times in the regular season, and the record stands at the Clippers' favour of 32-35. The Magic won the series last season 2-0, a nice sweep. Before that, the Clippers had also took the previous season 2-0. History had not been with us. Between January 2014 and January 2021, the Clippers won 14 meetings straight. So as to tonight, a final thought. This is an opportunity for the Magic to bounce back from the loss and a poor performance on the offensive end. Yes, there's going to be some tiredness, but as we say, it's a young team, good fitness levels and abilities to recover. It'd be a bonus to see Paolo find that offensive rhythm tonight. rediscovering that strength and aggression that made him the Rookie of the Year last season. I still see it too soon to be talking about a second year slump. Give the man a chance. It's been 3 games. It's not a problem yet. Absence through injury and the Harden trade will see the Clippers playing some very unfamiliar rotations to themselves. It will see an increased emphasis, no doubt, on Kawhi and PG-13 to carry the team tonight. As we say, remember it's the first night of a back-to-back to them, so equally they will be looking at the minutes before going into tomorrow's game. And as with any Magic game on the road in the Western Conference, this is not an easy game. It wasn't an easy game last night, and this one will not be. It will be a hard-fought game, but this is certainly winnable, and the Magic have the motivation given how close they came to taking a win last night. So if you've enjoyed this preview, please give it a thumbs up and go Magic.